Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bow and Arrow Tarot, and this the reading for Gemini. We're going to start right off with your love reading, starting off with the Page of Wands, Eight of Swords. That's how they come in. That's how you come in. How you see each other, Knight of Wands, Five of Wands. Interesting. The relationship is the Six of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles. And possible outcomes here, Ace of Swords and Death card. Wow. At the bottom of the deck, we have a Two of Wands, ready to move on, ready to move forward, taking a position of it's me against the world, right? Two of Wands energy is all about that. Leave that right there. So let's get right into it. Gemini, how do you see yourself? And how does your person come into this period, and how are they feeling? Well, for you, Gemini, Page of Wands, you're fearless right now. The whole world is all about you, right? Page of Wands energy is the highest energy card for fearlessness, overcoming fear, being creative, not caring what anybody thinks about you. You know, she is, look at it, she's unabashed. She is reveling in her power, you know, her newfound sort of sense of self and desire and ambition. Your person is coming in with the Eight of Swords. They're bound up. They're bound up with a lot of baggage. Now, sometimes these readings can be sort of vice versa, right? It can be that you're more resonating with the other person, and the other person is more of the energy at the top. Take it as it comes to you. But your person coming in Eight of Swords, they have felt as though they've been, you know, they don't have any choices left. You know, it feels as though that they've been put between a rock and a hard place. They're unable to see clearly, think clearly, make the right moves. Their thought process is bound and restricted. They're unable to see, you know, Eight of Swords energy is a feeling of not being able to see a different path, a different way, not being able to sort of think outside the box, or being stuck within their own sort of old thought patterns, right? So definitely there is a complete difference in your two energies. Right? Whereas you are completely right now resonating with this energy of being out and about and free and able to do whatever you want, and the world is sort of your oyster, and more than anything, you believe in your own power. Your person is very constricted, feeling very sort of not in control per se, not able to make any decisions, oftentimes blaming others around them for their own position, their own situation. What ties this? Six of Cups. Six of Cups energy is affection, connection, friendship. You may have known this person for quite some time, Gemini. This may be somebody that you grew up with, that you were in a relationship with. There's a fondness here. Six of Cups energy. There is an attraction in terms of a kind of long-term affection, connection. Six of Cups sometimes can mean that this, you know, this is definitely somebody from a past, right? And yet they're running. In this card, in this particular deck, this is the After Tarot deck. And so it's like there was a period of connectedness, of being together, and now it's kind of like everybody's off. Everybody's running away. They're ready to say goodbye. They're ready to grow up. You know what I mean? They're ready to grow up out of what can sometimes be a little bit of a limited kind of love affair that's much more in sort of an infancy, or even infantile space, rather. Now, how do you see each other? Your person. A lot of fights, a lot of arguments, a lot of competition, a feeling of not really, you know, Five of Wands is a lot of strife, a lot of sort of back and forth, you know, jockeying for power, jockeying for control, right? Manipulation. Yeah, that's how they see you. This may be how they see you operating, whereas you see Knight of Wands energy is interesting. How do you see them? You see them as someone who's fiery, who's ready, who oftentimes puts a lot of time and effort into their own ambition. You may be seeing them as somebody who's very arrogant, somebody who is overly sort of self-obsessed. Knight of Wands energy can go either way. It's air, or fire. So we have somebody who talks a lot, boasts a lot, says the right things. They're very sort of determined, so they say. But sometimes the Knight of Wands can fall short in actually manifesting that, because oftentimes the Knight of Wands can be too forceful, too arrogant, too full of himself. And yet, Gemini, your person sees you and they see nothing but bickering. They see Five of Wands is also a competitiveness here. There's a resentment here that your person sees you. And again, this reading can be vice versa. So it's interesting. It almost feels as though here with your person, it almost feels as though you see something in them that they don't see in themselves, Gemini, right? They're stuck here with this kind of energy of, let's move everything up a little bit, get some more light. They're stuck here with this energy of just not really being able to make the right decisions, being able to, let's take this card that just fell out. Eight of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, they're kind of over here. They're kind of stuck. You see them. They see themselves as being stuck. You see them as having a lot of promise, potential, but over arrogance. There's an over arrogance there that you see them with. And yet they're struggling here. All right. They struggle here. Eight of Pentacles. Work is involved here. There is a feeling of, are you willing to put the effort in? Have you put the effort in? Do you want to put more effort in? There's an issue here with money and responsibility as well in this connection. I'm going to say that this is a connection that's on the outs, meaning that this is a connection that is either over or in the period of becoming over, a period of, there is a period, there's the feeling of the two of you beginning to drift apart. And a lot of it has to do with responsibility, with work, with commitment. Again, Gemini, this feeling of you are in a really great place right now, and you're even in that kind of great place where you can see the greatness in them, but they are the ones who are very stuck where they're at. They may be stuck in a job that they hate. They may be stuck in a place where they can't find their joy. There's a lot of competition here. The two of you may in fact be in the same industry. You may in fact be in the same sort of field of work. There's a competitiveness here that I feel. A resentment here. Whereas for you, Gemini, you are sort of almost like at the beginning of a career, at the beginning of coming out and burgeoning and showing your creativity. And it almost feels as though your individual is in a place of being very much stuck. Very resentful of their position where they're at, feeling very competitive with you, right? The usefulness of the Page of Wands suggests there may be some kind of age difference or cultural difference here. And yet, Eight of Pentacles coming in twice in the reading definitely shows that there is an issue with work here. Whatever your occupation is or whatever their occupation is, it is not fulfilling them right now. Or it is, for some of you, it is what is coming in between this relationship here. How do you guys see the relationship? Let's move on to that. Well, again, as I say, I feel like this relationship is on the outs. You can see here that for you, you're moving away. You're done. You see this relationship. Let's say you may not be moving away, but you certainly see this relationship coming to an end. There's been enough arguing and there's been enough of difficulty, and it's like, yeah, it's time to move on to something that's a bit more prosperous. You know, we've been living in a place of poverty. We're going to the big city. We're moving on to a place where there's more for us to get, more for us to have, more for us to think about, where there's some harmony. And the constriction or the limitation of what we've been dealing with is in the past. For them, Eight of Pentacles. Again, Gemini, as I say, there's an issue here with work and needing to really pay attention to work, needing to really pay attention to your career right now. And again, for them to see the relationship as the Eight of Pentacles, it almost feels as though they know you're dealing with somebody who knows that they have not been stepping up, who knows that they have not been pulling their weight, who knows that they've been in a period of stagnation. I feel a period of stagnation here for them for sure, you know, like a holding pattern. And really, you see them differently. It's this feeling of, Gemini, you see their potential, but they don't. They don't see what they're stuck. And for you, it's like, I don't see this relationship moving forward necessarily in harmony. Not necessarily. Because it's like you have all of this creativity, this desire to sort of do something more with your life, do something more spectacular. Again, at the bottom of the deck, you do have that Two of Wands, this feeling of you against the world. You're ready to take on anything. And yet there is this constriction here, this limitation here, the resentment, the competitiveness, the feeling of not being able to do good at their job right now. What ties this connection? What ties this connection? Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not going to say that this relationship, I'm going to put justice fell out. I'm not going to say that this relationship is definitely over, but there's a period of separation here. There's a period of the two of you not really meeting eye to eye or seeing eye to eye. Justice is coming in. So things have become very much out of whack here, out of balance. There's been a lack of balance. There's been a lack of paying attention to what's important. You know, justice in this card reminds us to have balance is to sort of, you can see one side is the pauper and one side is the rich person, very wealthy, regal, and the balance is in between. Sometimes we're up and sometimes we're down. And there's a reallocating of power and responsibility going on in this relationship. If this relationship is in a rocky period, it's a period of energies and focus sort of being reappropriated in a proper way. Things have definitely been out of balance. One of you have been putting way too much work in or putting a lot of work in, and the other one has not. One of you has been seeing promise and potential, and the other one has not. And this lack of balance is what is needed here in this connection. Definitely a separation on your part, Gemini, is necessary, was necessary, is necessary. And yet there's a feeling here that things are still very much up in the air. There's a feeling here that nothing is really set yet. This is not a relationship that is completely over. But this is a relationship where the power dynamic is changing in a very significant way. And more than anything, Gemini, you are the one who is really feeling sort of, you're the one who's feeling the empowerment. You're the one who has the momentum behind you. Now, what are possible outcomes here? Well, Ace of Swords and Death. Again, for you, you're looking at a whole new way of thinking, living, behaving, maybe even a new way of sort of a new philosophy. You are resonating up, you're maturing in your thought processes. You may be getting a bit older, a little bit wiser here. But the Ace of Swords absolutely represents for you a whole new way of looking either at this relationship or at relationships as a whole. And of what it is that makes a relationship sort of successful, right? For you, what it is that you need for a relationship to be successful. For your person, death comes in. That death card comes in because it's time for them to completely sort of change. There's a whole resurrection, a whole transformation that's going on. Things, they have to say goodbye. They're dealing with saying goodbye I'm going to say, with a certain part of themselves or their life or the way that they're living their life. And it's a transformative change that's coming. You know, in tarot, when we talk about death, we don't talk about a physical death. Death is the meaning of death in tarot is the meaning of death. It means that something is going away and it will never be back in the same form. Once something is dead, it can never be recreated the same way that it was before. So it's not so much the end period, a nihilism, but death is the beginning of a change that is irreversible. And that's why it is such a potent energy and archetype. It is a change that really marks a period in time. You know, you can never go to that second before now. You know, we are constantly always in the past, present, and the future. We're never in the past. The moment that we're in it, it's already past. Right? And the future is right the next second. So we're in this time, the timeline. You know, time is the fourth dimension. The timeline is a very tricky dimension to navigate. And once something changes, once something is irreversibly changed, as with the energy of death, it can never be like that again. And so your person is definitely going through a period where they can never go back to the past again. They can never go back to what they had or who they were again. This change that's coming in is irrevocable. Let's pull some astrological cards for you before we carry on. See what's going on for you and your person. We have concentration and defense. Yeah, that makes sense. So for you, again, a period of you concentrating, paying attention right now to what it is you're wanting to do with your life. Moving on, Six of Swords, realizing that it may be time to move to a place of more productivity and enrichment. So you're concentrating right now, right? You are in, we have Saturn and Gemini. So this is your signs. Concentration, Saturn and Gemini. We have Mars in Taurus, defense. So for you, concentration, really paying attention to what you're doing right now, not letting things, sort of take your focus away. Again, you come in this week, and this is a week reading. You're coming into this week, in particular, aside from this connection, as somebody who's really passionate and ready to move on with your creative ambitions and objectives, and you're focused. Your person coming in with defense, they're feeling defensive. They're feeling like shit. Can I still hold on to what I have? Can I still hold on? Sometimes when death comes, that feeling of death, that feeling of something changing irrevocably in a way that you don't want it to necessarily change, there is a defense. There is a feeling of wanting to say, hold on, let me circle the cars, circle the carriage, and defend myself against this change that's coming. I don't want it. Again, this goes hand in hand with this feeling here, Eight of Swords, this feeling of being unable to make any decisions, being stuck, and at the same time being afraid of the future or something new. So there is a lot of defensiveness here coming in. It could be very well to do with the money issue as well here, because Taurus definitely represents a lot of physical material energies. Mars and Taurus can be a feeling of physically wanting to protect what is yours and what you have built. So there is a feeling here that your occupation, your job, your business, whatever it is you do for a living, for the both of you is very much intertwined into this connection. Maybe how you even made the connection with each other. And so again, this feeling that your person is somewhat resentful or feeling somewhat defensive about losing their position is tying in heavily into this relationship. Let's pull some runes and see what kind of zodiac signs you might be dealing with here. I'm not going to let this reading get too long. If you're a regular on my channel, you know I haven't been here for quite some time, but I've been working on something very special for my collective, and I'll be launching that very shortly. Cancer, some of you are dealing with a Cancer. Water energy. Pull another one. Some of you are dealing with an Aries, okay? The first of the sign, the baby of the sign, fire energy. Aries definitely associated with Knight of Wands. And some of you lovely Geminis are dealing with a Scorpio. Now, this may be somebody who has Scorpionic energy in their chart, Cancer energy in their chart, or Aries energy in their chart. And very soon, when I launch my new project, you're going to be able to find out exactly what is in your chart as far as astrological elements, numerological blueprint, and your tarot outlook. But again, stay tuned to my channel, subscribe to find out all about it. But for right now, Gemini, this is your love reading. This has been Bow and Arrow Tarot. I thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, this is just the weekly outlook. So come right back here next Saturday for your week outlook in love. But for right now, have a wonderful holiday, and I hope you have a great, great new year. Bye-bye now.